For this problem, we want to solve for the surface area for the triangular prism. The surface area formula is 2b plus ph. Now, if you notice, we have capitalized letters and lowercase letters. The capitalized letters mean that we have formulas inside of formulas. For instance, the capital B means we need to find the area of the base. The capital P means we need to find the perimeter of the base. And the small h means we need to find just the height of the prism in front of you. Now we have to determine what the base is. If we get the base incorrect, then our whole problem will be incorrect. So think about what prism you have in front of you. You have a triangular prism. So the prism, the base of that prism, is the triangle. If I were to give you a rectangular prism, then the rectangle will be the base. Not always will the shape be lying on the base. So you have to be careful when you're looking at your figure that the shape is not laying on its side. Again, look at the name of the prism. That will tell you what the base is. So for our example, our base is the triangle. We have a regular triangle, and we're going to need our chapter 11 stuff from finding those areas of those triangles. Now remember, these formulas only work with regular figures for finding that area. So we need to go back to our base is equal to 1/2 times the apothem times the number of sides times the side length. Again, all of that is from chapter 11. So I've redrawn the triangle, and we've gone to the center of that figure and drawn out another triangle. Once we find that triangle, we can plug everything into the formula, and that will give us our area. So let's take another look at the triangle. Now this is the second triangle that I've drawn. We make our line and we make sure it's perpendicular. We also have our central angle. If you remember from chapter 11, our central angle is taken from 360 divided by our number of sides. So that would give us 120 since we have 3 sides. The bottom is still 6, which was the length of that original triangle. This is just the bottom part from that dot down. From there, we can look at half of that triangle. So we're breaking the 6 down by 2. We're dividing it to get 3. 120 divided by 2 is going to give us 60. Now we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and we have to solve for the height. That's our apothem from chapter 11. So we have to use our special right triangles, which was a few chapters ago. And I've also provided a link for this on the website in case you forget how to solve with special right triangles. So using our special right triangles, our apothem is going to be equal to x, and 3 is going to be equal to x radical 3. We need to solve for x so we can get the apothem, which is a, which goes with our formula from before. B is equal to 1/2 a times n times s. So we start out with 3 equals x radical 3. We're going to divide by radical 3 on both sides. The radical 3's on the right will cancel out, and we're left with x equals 3 over radical 3. Now this answer to some is perfectly acceptable, but if you remember back from Algebra 1, one of our rules with dealing with radicals was that you could not have a radical in the denominator. You needed to rationalize it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep those Algebra 1 skills fresh because you're going to need this again next year in Algebra 2. So rationalizing means we have to get rid of the radical in the denominator. To do that, we have to multiply by itself. What we do in the bottom, we're also going to have to do in the top. So once we multiply, we get 3 radical 3 divided by 3. Again, we can simplify. The 3's will cancel each other out, and we're left with x equals radical 3. Now, x is also equal to a, so that means our apothem is also radical 3. So now we have the apothem. We know the number of sides, we have 3, and we know each side length, so we can go back to our formula. And we're going to plug everything right in. So our base is 1/2 times radical 3 times 3 times 6. That will give us 9 radical 3. Now, that's just the area of the triangle of the base. We still need perimeter, which is easy. We can just add up all the sides. So we get 18. And now we can go back to our surface area formula. 2 times our base plus perimeter times the height. So 2 times 9 radical 3 plus 18 times 10. 10 is our height of the actual prism if you go back to that first picture. Simplifying, we're going to get 18 radical 3 plus 180. Now I'm going to put the radical in. I don't want to do it until the very end because I don't want to have to round until the end. So anytime we're dealing with radicals or pi, anything like that, leave it, think of it as a variable and plug it into your calculator at the very end. And now we're going to get 211.18 inches squared.